All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Cloud9 podcast, season 9, episode 15. We are actually going to be going over several videos in this episode of the Cloud9 podcast and giving our commentary over them. We're going to go over a video from the Score Esports. They had a video talking about where is TSM going, which actually sparked a thing in my brain earlier today. I was like, wait a minute, TSM is one of the most storied esports organizations out there. And they literally just announced they're leaving the LCS, and they really haven't announced where they're going to end up being at, or maybe they decided against being in League of Legends as a whole. But I doubt that, because Reginald really wants to win Worlds, as by what he says. His actions don't really show that, throughout the many years, but it's something to talk about. And Ding Dong Ching Chong Fat Fuck Emenes started going on a tirade, on social media, putting out his Donzo manifesto. And I'll explain what that means to people when we get to that specific video, when we go over Double's video. And then we have the 2024 offseason rumors, and we'll go over that in Kadrill's video today. And joining me here today in this episode of the Cloud9 podcast, my co-host, Mr. Blanks. What's up, man? He's always trying to sleep with my ex, but it's crazy. My first ever girlfriend. He's like, man, you know what, dude? I want to fuck her. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm glad I can pick attractive women that people like to have sex with. I'm glad.
Yep, and their family. Yep. That's so good. I saw this shit was a menace. I was like, oh, this. Okay, and it's just.
Can I be honest, man? He looked like a weirdo. Like, he felt. I know I've never been around him, so people are like, didn't you go to the LCS? I went to the LCS a week before he played, actually. So I met Diplex before I met him. I never got a chance to interact with him, but just from what I saw, all from just watching him throughout all this year, just look like a fucking weirdo. You just literally look like a weirdo. I'm sorry. Like, it's someone like, I've seen people like that in my real life. Those people are fucking weird, Like, and maybe that's his personality. That's all good, but it's not gonna make it any less weird, obviously. Like, you could tell the team had issues. You could tell.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know why Jack kept, getting mid laners from fucking 7-Elevens. It's like, this is a Cloud9, the premier NA esports organization. You can get a good mid laner. Like, this is a position you should somewhat shell out good money for. But Cloud9's never really been like that. And they've never really had people on really good contracts. They kind of always paid maybe slightly above what people are really worth. Other than that, because Jack is very big on not overspending. You know how Nate Shot and all those other guys went crazy on facilities? Jack never did that. He just chose to keep everything just in a big giant house.
Yeah.
So if you do ever pay off that house, even though it's in LA, to be fair, that's going to be way better than spending money on a facility that is going to be basically collecting dust if you don't participate in a lot of esport titles. Exactly. I thought the whole facility thing was just so overrated, man. I hated the facility idea. That gaming house was so much more of a cheaper, better route you could really go for, because the point of a facility is to have all your teams competing in that facility, your training rooms and stuff like that, right? But what if you start pulling out of those esports though? Then you just have less and less space there. And plus, a lot of them are just way too big. How in the world are they gonna actually, end up utilizing all that space? Is just beyond me, actually. But we have a few more news that came out for the League of Legends 2024 offseason. I called this move, actually. I did call this move, and it felt like it was going to be the best place for these players to go to. Okay, dude, do you think Team Liquid actually want to try to win an LCS split after not having Double on their roster anymore?
Maybe.
They haven't won a split since Double has been on the roster. The last split they won was in 2019 summer.
Yep.
And when I see moves like this does not inspire confidence in me. Bot laner Yeon is set to continue with Team Liquid in the LCS next season. Okay. All right. This guy was pitiful. This guy was dog shit the whole year.
Maybe with double he expressed his feels that he probably just doesn't want to play anymore. It's
like I don't get why they keep Jan. He's bad.
Yeah.
He's legitimately bad. If they keep him with Core JJ, you know that's a fucking bottom 8 bot lane. So yeah, guys, Team Liquid is keeping Jan. I don't know if you guys are Team Liquid fans out there. There's a little fan base out there. That is terrible. This guy is. I'm sorry, guys. This guy's booty. This guy's terrible. There's nothing he's good at. Nothing. Laning, no. Early game champions, no. Late game champions, fuck no. Can you play Aphelios? Yeah. If he had it, I'd rather give Aphelios to a fucking autistic African black kid to play better than that.
Oh,
this guy's trash. We saw this guy. He was like, but he played well at Worlds. No, he didn't. He actually played really bad at Worlds. He was terrible at Worlds. Like, could he play better here with certain ADCs? Maybe. But no, he's not good. What do you think, man?
I just don't think the team are like was put together properly, in my opinion. Like, think about it. You bring over POC, who probably one of the better players the whole year, and the way that his NA stint ended, you were like, yeah, no, he's going back to Korea, and he's not coming back. Because there's no reason for him to come back. There's no reason for him to come back. Like, and Summit, you know he was going to leave. EPA is reportedly staying as well. It's like, okay. It's like, and you start looking at the team, you're like, okay, they're, Core JJ's not leaving until he decides he wants to leave. It's like, I don't know. You look at Team Liquor, you're like, the team should have been better than they were, and you don't know why they weren't. And I'm kind of glad Noah's not going over there, because this is not the Team Liquid that he's going to want to play on.
This is not the Team Liquid that he was on many years ago when they were winning back-to-back championships. Yeah. This is just, I don't know, a Team Liquid without an identity anymore, actually, in my opinion. What else? Oh God. Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah.
Burn this organ to ground.
I was about to bring that up too, and oh my God. This and NRG. God. This is NRG is crazy.
Okay. This is the only clip. This is the only clip that I would have for this moment. Please.
SpongeBob.
Oh yeah.
They're sickening. I hate people. I have got to get my hits up.
Umpty is trash. Umpty has never been good. Ever. Ever. This motherfucker in Dong Qingong has been bad since his career started. I've seen this guy since he started. He's booty. This guy is trash. This guy sucks so bad. And she's just like, oh, I'll just give you a big check. Is he really their jungler?
Likely.
Hell no. This guy is terrible.
We
saw this guy. We watched him on Bro.
Yep.
I'm just lost for words.
Hey, bad. Think about this. Bad Korean might be good American. We don't know.
Okay, can you tell me something that you actually believe? Now tell me how you really feel.
APA stayed with the team.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah,
You've been seeing this shit?
Yeah, I've been seeing this shit, and APA is rumored to stay with Team Liquid.
Just give me the crack pipe.
And you guess what? And when it comes to NRG, has reached an agreement. Hololife's
roster is basically
Genji minus Chovy.
Yeah. So this is basically just Genji with a stronger ADC. And no offense to Pace, but Viper is just absolutely just disgusting of an ADC. He's insane. And so they down. So in theory, the Gen G players are like, okay, we'll get a weaker mid, but we'll get a stronger ADC. Is their thing? Because they all have had to want it to leave Gen G. Because I'm gonna say this: there's no way the three same players in the championship-winning roster just randomly end up on another roster together. Just saying that is really, really a huge coincidence where both Doran, Peanut, and Delight all wanted to play together, but have a different mid and ADC. So maybe they didn't like the way that Chovy played the game. Maybe they didn't like the way that Pays played the game. I don't know. Maybe they had some big drama that ended up happening. If you factor in, even when you're on the winning team, you're still gonna have some big drama too. So yeah, that's the Humble Life roster. You know, Hanwha's built like random decent teams and always kind of failed. I'm gonna keep my reservations for Hanwha very, very much reserved because, like, when Gen G builds a super team or T1 has one, you're like, okay, I've seen them have success. I can kind of believe in them. Humble Life guys have been garbage like ever since they've entered the LCK, and forever. Like even last year, or sorry, this year when they had that roster of Zeka and Kingan, bad, and they had a player's name. I remember they had Gen G's old support who was named Life, and he brought anything but life into that team. That looked like trash, honestly. So that's Humble Life's roster. Interesting. Okay. I think Peanut is fine, honestly. Like if you're going for a jungler, that's a big upgrade. He's a big upgrade compared to who they had before, like massively. Yeah. Like this is like such a huge step. But it's Hanwha Life. That's why I'm skeptical. It's like, do they have the right coaching staff and players around, like coaching staff around these guys to make them succeed? I don't know, honestly. Morgan's terrible. Whenever the chat chants Lord Morgan, just stop watching. This guy is booty. This guy's actual garbage. You think the way like Twitch chat talks about this guy, he's like a fucking 3-time world champion. He wasn't. He never was. He's awful. He's actually just straight up bad. Can it get any better?
Joker, yeah, are set to contracts with Fnatic. Yep.
It was very depressing. We were joking about suicide.
And then also with Astralis, all of them have been released out of their contracts. As of now, Jangoon was the only one that found the team.
Yeah, Jangoon is going to be on, I think, Live Sandbox, I think.
Yep. And it is rumored that Kabe is retired.
Damn, that'd be crazy. I remember the guy first came onto the scene. Holy crap.
It's rumored.
Liquid have announced their coaching staff for next season. Spawn, who's been their longtime academy head coach, getting that promotion. That's awesome for him. Rainover's like, you know what? Head coach is too much. I'll just be the assistant coach. And they have I'm not too sure about this guy. I've never heard of his name, but okay. So we have Spawn. He got a promotion, and Rainover kind of demoted himself. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Vessio's rumored to go to Vitality, and the only person on Vitality now that's contracted is Photon. Everybody else is gone.
Okay, so let's go for
Carzy another one, but it's not official yet.
Oh, Carzy and Hillsing are going to be on Vitality.
Yeah. Yep, with Pad and Mac are
they are. What I heard is they are keeping Photon, and I think that is good. Photon really was. That's actually a good thing. I'm glad.
Vessio's confirmed to go to. It's not confirmed, but he's rumored to go to Vitality. Vessio.
Oh Lord, Jesus.
He's leaving Team Hyrenics.
Are these guys just trying to compete for 10th? Official World's 2022 champions Jungler Piosik and AD Carry Deft are joining KT Rolster for the upcoming LCK season, as announced by the organization. I called it. Def was going to go to KT. I called it.
Yep.
So welcome back, Def. Def last put on KT in 2018. He's like, you know what? You could not live with your own failure.
Yeah. They're going to pay on Kate. Okay. It's going to be a tough split for T1, but fuck it. It's T1, man. We'll be...
Deft on Piosic on the same team. Piosic, he's going to be replacing Cuz?
Yeah.
That's an upgrade, but I think that's...
I think it's an upgrade now with Piosic being in America for a year and realizing how shit that region is. I think that's going to give Piosic a new drive. I think as well as Deft being the best player on KT toward the end of the...
This is so weird because I think Aiming had a much better year than Deft did, but they're choosing to not keep Aiming. That's just so odd. And maybe Aiming costs too much money, maybe.
That too, but I think I think KT get into the top 8 over DK, which is more on how shit DK was and how much Deft tried to carry.
Yeah.
While Aiming was good, but he was never the true reason why KT was great. He was one of the reasons, but never the number one reason. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, Justin? How you doing, man? Well, that's crazy. I never thought I'd see the world where Deft is now back on KT. That's okay. Interesting.
Yep.
All right. And what else is going on? So that's all the recent news to cover. Let me go to what's Ashley King's one? Isn't it wasn't it called Horizon? Something like that? What is the LCK equivalent to this? I forgot the name. Freak.
No, it's Horizon. It's Horizon.
It's Horizon. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're right. There you go. Okay. So if you guys ever want like direct LCK news, then there you go. Dove is leaving IG. Dove was actually pretty solid. Yeah. I'm curious to see where he's gonna end up on.
Oh, he's coming to I think he's coming to NA. I think it's NA.
Oh Lord.
He's
just pray for him. That's all I'll say.
Dove is confirmed. Yeah, Dove is coming to Dignitas. It's yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah. It's rumored that he's going to
I was gonna praise his team making decisions, but I guess his out of game ones are just really bad.
He going for
this one's really weird because everyone knows Liv Sandbox tried to get JoJo and NA mid. They're like, hey closer, yeah, buddy. Hey, want to come play for us? He was literally on their roster this year. They're like, yeah, that JoJo Peon guy, he's overrated. We're really involved with you, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be awkward.
I don't care about anything non-Shim related ever. Yep, welcome back, Deft. Deft's last dance. His last dance probably should have been, this year.
No, last year. I think retired after that because it was like, you finally did the one thing you were hoping to do that invaded you, like, or eluded you.
The quote from Deft in the KT announcement video of his signing: "My goal, if I did not believe we would be able to win, I would have not come. So my goal is to win." So he's pairing himself back up with the jungler that he had so much success with in 2022. And to be fair, the last time KT ever won a split was with Deft. KT's been a long-standing esport org for LCK, right? They've only ever won 2 splits. They won the 2014 one that Monty talks about. I forgot what's exactly the name of it. It was back when it was called OGN. So they won an OGN split back in the day. Yeah. And the last LCK split they won was in 2018 summer. You'd think an org this big in LCK with this much fans, they would have a lot more titles. No, they've only ever had 2. That's crazy to think about at this point, Yep. And I just Piosic's back makes sense. I don't care. Immortals, lol. This is, that's Immortals.
Immortals they signed Arbal, Mask, and their coach. One of their coaches is going to be Sharks. Coming over from FlyQuest.
Oh, tell me they did not sign the same head coach that tanked that FlyQuest roster from this last split. No way.
Yeah, they did, apparently. Okay. Alexei Taranda from Belarus.
I'm pretty sure it's the guys. Unless, if that's the same head coach that didn't even do well with the roster of players that he had, it's like, oof, good Lord. And her tits are nice. All right.
As of now, Speaker's the only confirmed player, but Speaker might not be on the team for long because they haven't inspired.
Oh yeah, they haven't talked about Fika in a minute because we heard that
Yeah.
Inspired was joining FlyQuest, so the roster would be like Jensen, Inspired,
Masu,
and Matt. Yeah, and I forgot to support.
Lucio.
Oh, Lucio. Yeah, that's an interesting team actually.
Does Aspire play top then?
Oh no, that wouldn't happen. I don't know who their top.
Oh
would be.
no, it's Whippo. Whipple's their top. It's Whippo, Aspire,
This sounds like a
Masu, Jensen, and Lucio.
Oh yeah, People's gonna have a team again. That's interesting. That's
Finally,
good.
because
Oh god,
Team Liquid was fucking them.
I still can't believe Revenge was able to be on teams, but Bwipo was sitting there casting.
Whippo and who's the other one? Who's the other top laner?
Licorice is not going to have a team because Golden Guardians and the EG situation with Riot just fuck that. Dude, I love how John Needham was like, yeah, I hope this doesn't cause any inconvenience. People have to understand, off-season starts with people the moment your team is out of Worlds or you don't make Worlds.
Once your season's done, like you gotta realize.
He's sitting here telling Travis some bullshit, like, "Oh yeah, hope this doesn't really impact the players on the rosters." What are you retarded? Do you live? Yeah. What the? I'm like, bro, I can't take this with people anymore. What? Have you not been paying attention? Yes, that would clearly have an impact if you tell people that their jobs have expired. Basically, I don't know, 2 months late into the off season. Now, the only possible way that that's going to ever get rectified is, one of these teams is going to have a bad split. Like I said before, one of these teams is going to be doing bad. One that we probably don't expect is going to do bad. And they're going to make some changes. That's
it's going to be
the only way you expect. Yeah.
It'll be IMT, but they won't get rid of anybody for. They're going to probably take this year again. They're going to.
And despite what we thought might happen with Showmaker, he's not going to retire. Showmaker is going to re-sign 3 more years with D+ Kia. He's going to have to really step up his game come 2024. Maybe this year and getting shit on as hard as he did is going to reinvigorate him.
D+ will be 6th place. Maybe at highest 5th.
If they keep Kellen, I'm literally just going to be...
Think about it. It's going to be
Who is this? Wait, hold on. His name is Lucid?
Lucid Dreams? Oh, Jesus. He can't make this shit up. These names are bad.
There's a jungler called Sponge, and there's a jungler called Lucid.
Man, he better suck up on the L's about to catch.
My heart just stopped.
Kellen. Yes, you were just talking about Kellen. And then they re-sign him.
Why can't they just sell Kellen to Nongshim? Nongshim is where careers go to die.
Because Nongshim has a full team, I believe.
Are they really pairing aiming with fuck. Like, just no. Listen, we ain't getting no world with this one.
This shit's so bad. Oh man, we don't want to see this. I love that quote because they actually mentioned about, man, there's some like don't show me no trash ass team at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to sleep.
I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
G2 Keller's back. Let's go. G2.
There was a funny comment, and one of these, someone's like, "Y'all cooking, but we ain't eating." Oh, yeah, man. Don't you just love that D+ sign fucking Kellen?
Kellen.
They could have literally went with like any single rookie, which would be way bigger of an upside. It's like, hey, we could probably spend less money on a rookie, but the upside that he is way better, and then we get our own prospect support at our team, and we'll re-sign this guy. Who's the top laner? Just get me out. What the hell is this?
King is. That's King.
No, I know, but no one anything king about his gameplay. This looking
I thought
like
that was
hot
Michael
stick.
Reeves. Man,
This
I thought that
looking
was
like
Michael Reeves for a hot second. I was like, that might. Oh no, never mind. Like,
this is
that
looking
Michael
like
Reeves?
hot 7th place.
Yeah, I told you, man. D plus gonna be 5th place at the highest.
They're lucky. I mean,
Kamala,
given how bad,
Genji, T1.
yeah. I'm not gonna even respond to any of that. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't read that.
Individual skill. That's mean he's good at the solo lane, but he gets destroyed during team fights. Or is it the other way around?
He's known for his exceptional skills and strategic gameplay. Yep, sure didn't see any of that shit this year with Hanwha, but I mean, hey, you know, if you keep huffing your own farts, you might end up believing half that shit.
Yep.
That's literally chat. Yeah, it's literally chat GPT. Because if anyone saw King in this year, there's no way you're saying that bullshit. God. Okay. Why? I just don't get it, man.
That's man.
That's really gonna be their roster? Showmaker, a motherfucker named Lucid, and Kigan, and Aiming and Kellen. That looking like hot fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. Are these orgs trying to win this year? Their head coach is named Bubbling.
Yes, Bubbling. Definitely gonna be doing bubbling to get into Worlds. You can't make this shit up, man.
Oh God. Gumo UC resigns. Tom resigns. Oh, did they resign Coco?
Yeah. Everybody.
All right.
Yep, Daniel's back in Korea.
None of this. Absolutely none of this. It should inspire any D plus Kia fan. I'm sorry if you're a D plus Kia fan. That looking like a hot 6th place roster. D plus is going to be what Hanwha was probably this year for talking with this roster. Actually, if we're being honest here, they're about to do exactly what Hanwha this year. They'll be only decent because everybody else is worse. That's the only reason why they'll do good. Actually. All right, so let's go over the videos we're going to end up doing commentary over. But yes, thank you to every single person that watches on the podcasting platform. Whether you choose to watch on Pandora, Audible, Spotify, our biggest platform right now is Amazon Music. You don't have to support the show in any way. Just watching and listening is just fine, you know. And if we get enough more listeners, then we can see where that takes us in the future. But you know, there's like people that'll ask, like, "Hey, so give me money." It's like, no, you don't have to give me anything. Literally, just watching and listening is just doing fine for me. So keep in mind, just watch and listen. And I know our biggest audience now is from France. I know there's a lot of French women out there that want to sleep with me because I have a big wee, you know, big old baguette.
Oh my God.
You know, if you French women ever been with a hot black man, let me know because I can fulfill that role for you. Actually, you know, hot, sexy black man with a whole load of riz and a whole lot of cum.
My God, dude. Yeah, you gotta relax, man. French girls don't like thirsty dudes, man.
What do you mean?
They like French women are
Viva Los France.
Oh my God, that's just bad.
So yes, thank you to every single person that watches on the podcast platforms. We absolutely love you. You guys are amazing. And more episodes of the Iron Man podcast are coming. I have to just download them and get them uploaded. I know I've been behind on it, but don't worry. There's going to be a whole front load of episodes coming for that show very, very soon. Just want to let you guys know that. All right, so let's go over these videos right now. So, well, it's going to be really interesting talking about TSM is they literally were like one of the first like LCS teams along with CLG. And that's even crazy that people have forgotten about this earlier this year is CLG, long-standing LCS org, started like around the same time. They were literally built because of their rivalry with Reginald and TSM, right? They're gone. They're in the longest standing two teams are gone. That's not good. Give me a second right here. So another big problem is the LCS is going through a lot of problems actually, and I'm going to send this last message out, and then I'm going to go over the video with you guys. Yep, in about 50 minutes. All right, so the Score Esports put out this video talking about where the hell did TSM go. So it was basically rumored that TSM were trying to buy Misfit slot, last year actually, and the rumors circle back to them trying to basically get out of the league since like 2021 as the earliest. Reginald has been open about the issues with the LCS and a lot of the inner workings of the LCS. And, I don't really care for Reginald all that much. I think he's been a very obnoxious person throughout most of his, his esports career or business ownership. But what he said about the actual LCS product, I agree with, like there really isn't a point to spend all this much money on, a product that has just this amount of huge diminishing returns, the absolute huge diminishing returns that this product has been bringing literally is obviously something that we've known for quite some time. And the other thing to talk about is there's no point in just dumping more money into a product that is just not worth much, right? Remember, guys, the academy. Remember, because I know people have not brought this up. LCS team owners were forced, or as in their contracts previously, to carry academy teams. So you can factor in all the money you were spending on your main team versus how much you were spending on your academy team. It's like, how in the world could a team ever recoup any money back if they're basically having to fund money for a system that they basically didn't even really believe in? And there's many more discussions to be had about, like, actual NA talent coming from our own region. But the fact that a lot of that money was dumped into that scene and there was little to no result being put into it at all is just absolutely insane to think about. And we have this video to go over for you guys right here. And obviously throughout the 4 videos, we will obviously commentate over them. So let's go.
6 months ago, we heard that TSM was pulling their League of Legends team out of the LCS and moving it to another Tier 1 region. We've heard basically nothing about that since though, and with the season now over and a new one right around the corner, everyone is asking, where the hell are TSM? Thanks to our friends over at ROG for sponsoring this video. Here's Dimitri to tell you more about their Black Friday sale.
All right, so before we get into the video,
It's from back in May.
We have made the tough decision to start the process of transitioning to another Tier 1 region. This may feel sudden, but to be honest, we've been actively working towards this for the last 3 years. I believe moving to another region will reignite our hunger to doing whatever it takes to win a world championship.
That was TSM CEO Reggie announcing.
Yeah, so he confirmed basically since like the start of 2020, they had been trying to, move on to a different Tier 1 region. Because obviously the solo queue here is shit. The actual teams are really bad. Scrim environment we've always heard has been pretty bad. So, and if you're constantly getting knocked around by better teams, like, what is the point of investing all this much money into a product that just isn't really going to be giving you anything, actually?
That their League of Legends team would be leaving the LCS and moving to a different Tier 1 region. Or if you have been following North America's international track record, an actual Tier 1 region. I'm kidding, just kidding. That announcement came years after sliding results for TSM's league team, a once totally dominant force in North America that began struggling to qualify for Worlds and then spectacularly bombed out in 2020 when they finally did.
life for a moment as sort of the ulti channels there. Flash engage for Broken Blade, they want in. Light's gonna save one. Will it be enough though? Ornhorn comes out, will not find the knockup. An ulti backwards now for Broken Blade. 5-on-5 still happening. Rascal gets hooked in. Stoneplate will time out. Can TSM find the first kill? Speaker's gonna get in. That is a 5-man sweep. If TSM can't win this, what will they?
Yeah, Speaker pulled off a 5-man Lilia sweep, and they basically just didn't do anything in that play. And that wasn't even some of the worst thing that happened in that game. I mean, the Baron that happened in that game. I mean, you had all the decision making in that game, and Bjergsen being on Lucian, he couldn't carry. It's just, this is so bad. I mean, TSM have needed to get a revamp for quite some time, honestly. Like the TSM that people fell in love with way back in the day, it's far, far from what TSM had been in these latter coming years. And it's crazy that the TSM that we saw in the LCS 2023 Summer Split playoffs, like, it's crazy how they just got knocked out in the first 2 rounds in the playoffs just instantly. Actually, it's crazy because they would go from being the team to win all the playoffs versus being the team to get knocked out the playoffs constantly now.
Add to that the financial concerns. Now, some of this was shared by all esports orgs. It's no secret that the industry has had quite a rocky return to reality after a decade of inflated evaluation, absurd operational costs, and eye-watering player salaries. And specifically for TSM, in 2022, they suspended their $210 million naming rights deal with FTX after the crypto marketplace filed for bankruptcy amidst allegations of misuse of customer deposits and an investigation by the US Justice Department. There were rumors that TSM were planning to pull out of a number of their traditional esports scenes. For a lot of fans, though, it didn't feel like TSM were dropping their league team because Reggie had clearly stated the team was simply moving to a different region. This sentiment was also evident on September 30th of this year, the day of their last LCS game, where TSM thanked their fans around the world and the LCS for the memories. They also said their journey towards championships had not ended. And so TSM fans have waited with bated breath for an announcement, any announcement at all, about when and where their league team will return. But so far, there's been nothing. Some fans have been hoping that Reggie will do what he's done in the past at times and emerge in a random TSM thread on Reddit to shed some light on the org's plans. Earlier this week, there was hope that the end of Worlds and...
Remember the Reddit thread of Reginald saying, guys, if we ever become like CLG, I will sell my house, my car, my everything. Yeah. Look how that turned out.
The opening of the player signing period would herald an announcement about the future. But in the absence of official news, fans have been left speculating among themselves. First off, what region are they moving to? Well, there have been rumors circulating for quite a while now. Back in July 2022, Dexerto reported that TSM had made inquiries at the time about acquiring the recently sold Misfits franchise slot in the LEC. In May this year, reporter Jacob Wolf revealed he'd heard TSM had been talking to LPL orgs as far back as November 2022. The truth is, we don't know. It could be Europe, China, or South Korea. So for the moment, perhaps a better question to ask is, what would TSM in any of those leagues actually look like? Spots in Tier 1 regions don't grow on trees. Teams aren't that willing to give them up. And they also come with Tier 1 price tags to match. So one prevailing theory is that TSM has approached an existing European, South Korean, or Chinese team for a partnership. They might not be actively involved in the day-to-day esports operations of that team, but the team would carry the TSM branding, partially or in full. The appeal for the host team is quite clear. They become the focus of TSM's global fan base and be able to benefit from the monetization of that. They'd receive a lump sum when signing the deal and consistent financial backing thereafter. They'd likely be mostly autonomous too, although to what degree would depend on the nature of the deal. In return, firstly, TSM would have their brand present in a major region where viewership is either growing, stable, or at the very least decreasing more slowly than in the LCS. Also, TSM have said all along that their reason for doing this is that they want to win championships. They want to make this move and then eventually go on and win Worlds. How likely is this? Well, some of you guys might be laughing right now and thinking they have absolutely no chance, but at first glance, it kind of has to be more likely than if they just stayed in the LCS. We could sit here and debate the reasons for that all day.
Yeah, let's just be. I'll be honest with you. They were never going to win Worlds from the LCS. I think that reality is set in many years ago for, TSM in general, especially when they had groups at Worlds that they could have easily have gotten out of. But the issue here is they haven't been out of the group stage since 2014. And the only time they got out of groups at Worlds is when they had no Korean teams in their groups, actually. And the one group at the 2017 World Championship where they literally could have gone out, they didn't because they're a bunch of choke artists, and Double Lift and Bjergsen are just bad.
But the bottom line is no LCS team has even got a sniff of the Summoners Cup in the past decade. And yes, I'm including the 2018 Cloud9 team there. But moving to a top region is no guarantee of success either. Presuming TSM partners up with a mid-table team in one of those regions, I can't see them going toe-to-toe in their first year with the likes of JDG, with T1, Genji, G2. I just can't. It may even take a couple of seasons for TSM to even qualify for Worlds in one of those regions. And what if they can't even do that? If TSM ends up languishing as a middle-of-the-pack team in the LPL among 16 others, all but forgotten by their Western fans and struggling to make playoffs, would it even have been worth it for them or their fans? Of course, it may also go amazingly. Maybe they qualify for Worlds at the first time of asking and get to quarterfinals. Maybe they keep the bulk of their North American fans and open up a whole new market.
Well, the thing here is you have to attempt to try something if that's your goal. You can't just sit around in a bad region hoping for whatever fuck all results, honestly.
Yep.
And you have to factor in, you could build the best NA roster like TSM kind of has tried to do. That still doesn't do anything. Remember, building the best form of players we have doesn't mean jack shit. Actually, it just doesn't.
Of course. Because the biggest thing is that LCS is just too far behind now, where it's like you said, the 1 year they could have got out was 2017, and they end up choking it away. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just.
And then you had 2020, where it was very clear that we are so far removed from what was considered good for LCS back in the day. It's not even close anymore, actually. Then, we'll see how it pans out.
Market in the process. Maybe, but this is all speculation and wishful thinking at the moment. And that's all TSM fans have to go on in the absence of actual announcements and plans. The path ahead may be uncertain for them, but there is a feeling among TSM fans that whatever the future holds, the decision to leave the LCS was the right one. Recently, the LCS announced they'd be downsizing from 10 to 8 teams for next season, with Golden Guardians and Evil Geniuses departing from the league. For some LCS fans, this has confirmed their suspicions that the league is in a downward spiral, that its profitability, its stability, and sustainability are in deep jeopardy. Now, there was a time...
Yes, that's true. A lot of people have known the writing was on the wall for quite some time, that the LCS has had diminishing returns for viewership, Worlds results. The broadcast has been stale for a very long time, obviously up until recently. The gameplay is just bad. People have really finally thought to themselves, wait a minute, we can literally just watch all the other better teams from the other better regions. So why am I watching this? And people keep saying, oh, but the time zone doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. People would literally just watch the games. If you're really into the LCK and LPL, you genuinely watch them. People will literally just watch them when they're up, honestly. So the whole time zone argument doesn't matter anymore.
No, the time zone still does, because people watch VODs more. And I think what it is people don't, because the true argument is people don't watch LCS while it's live. They wait for the clips.
Oh, and the whole cold streaming thing is taking over a lot. People would rather watch a motherfucker through his webcam talking to his microphone than watch the actual broadcast product.
And that's the biggest thing, because with the LPL and the LCK, of course people are going to stay up if they are able to, but they're not watching the LCK. They're watching whoever streamer is able to co-stream it. It's like they're watching LS, they're watching Kadro or Kitty or whoever. It's like, or it depends on who it is, but if they are definitely watching the VODs. LCS is, if you don't catch it live, they're gonna probably just go on LOL Esports, look at who won, and keep it moving. They know that the gameplay is not as good, and that's the sad part about it. It's like, oh, okay, this team's not good anymore. It's like, or this region is no longer good, and that's the sad part about it. Like, this region has been, to me, relatively strong since 2018. I think that Cloud9 top 4, probably the last time we'll probably see an LCS team in the top 4. Like, Energy got top 8 this year, but it's okay. That's good.
Yeah, like, I know people are like, but NRG made top 8. Does that really mean anything?
I mean, it does when it's like you went through a European region and the team that you went through was like supposedly the best team in the West. I mean, it's like it's good.
Especially in the short span of time that they had. No, I mean, it's one of these things where people factor in, that's our first top 8 appearance. Because we haven't had any really good world showings in general.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't look at that, our actual world showings is like, I mean, Cloud9 running it, Team Liquid running it, Golden Guardians, we don't exist anymore. We're running it. Last year, Cloud9, 100 Thieves, and who also went last year? EG turbo sprinted that shit. They went the good old 315. Remember, they didn't get a tier 2 turret until week 2. Remember that one, guys? Yep. Oh, Lord.
About a decade ago, where the LCS did in fact have 8 teams before expanding to 10, but that won't calm the nerves of many LCS fans. The story of esports so far has been one of...
Before you renew Amazon...
I'm not going to renew Amazon. You're a fucking bitch. Go home, you fucking slut.
People are accustomed to seeing their product get bigger and better every year, not return to where they started. And for investors, well, they want to pump money into a league that has the potential to shrink even further. Remember, TSM reportedly sold their LCS spot to Shopify Rebellion this year for $10 million. Compare that to the $30 million plus paid by Evil Geniuses to Echo Fox for their slot less than 4 years earlier, and you can see why there might be some concerns that the value of an LCS slot may not appreciate from here. Riot have said the move from 10 to 8 teams in the LCS will allow them to be more flexible, whatever that means, but will it halt the trend of consistent viewership decline over the past 3 years? Amidst all these questions, TSM fans are starting to see their org's decision to leave the LCS as jumping ship before it's too late. At the time, TSM were met with derision by some in the LCS community who felt like the org was abandoning the league that made them what they are. And now some TSM fans see the recent...
But that's the biggest thing, is the league never made TSM what they are. TSM made themselves what they are with the personality that they had attached to their brand. That's how most of the stuff was built. The personalities in the scene made it what it was. That's just how it was, honestly.
And LCS downsizing as borderline vindication of the org's decision to leave. But that vindication is pretty much all they have, and even that is contingent on TSM's plans to join a different region actually going ahead. It's not easy to simply shuffle over to a new region in League of Legends, even if it's a partnership deal, and TSM may have already hit a few hurdles since their bold announcement in May. Perhaps it's more expensive than Reggie first imagined. Perhaps they're not sure if they'll be able to qualify for, and especially win Worlds in a new region. Perhaps it's bigger than their league team and simply doesn't make financial or marketing sense.
Remember, they had that huge FTX deal that completely fell through. That FTX deal, when it was revealed that it was basically just a huge scam, that really hurt their financial situation. Because remember, that was, people don't understand, that was money that they were counting on to have for their future operations, to obviously have someone put in money for them and sponsor them so that they could utilize that money in a way that would, definitely give them back profit, right? So if that's revealed to be not happening, and you kind of base a lot of your financial decisions on something happening that didn't, yeah, that's going to end up being pretty bad. Just saying, And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. we're going to go to the one with Double If, actually, talking about good old Emenes, actually. So, yeah, I really don't know where TSM is going to end up, actually. I really, really don't know. I think we're going to hear a decision at some point in the future. If you don't hear anything back by the end of December, it looks like what he said is probably true. Reginald probably didn't factor in how much money it's actually going to cost to do this. And he just went and made a decision because he was just super emotional at the time. But I don't think TSM potentially selling their spot to Shopify Rebellion is a bad idea. I mean, the LCS is not a good product. It has had vastly diminishing returns. So I can't really get mad at the idea itself, but, Reginald's not been known for his, great thinking skills. Am I right? Oh, right. Where is... Okay, give me a sec. All right, so basically, we have Emenes' Donzo Manifesto. So what Double is saying right there, Double had an old teammate named Link on CLG before they went with Pobelter during the LCS 2015 summer split, the split that they ended up finally winning a trophy, where Double got his first trophy, right? So Link put out this huge, Donzo manifesto about Double If and, how much he didn't like Double If and everything wrong with CLG at the time. So when people are saying Donzo manifesto, they're referring to Link's long essay regarding, whatever's going on in the team, actually. It's just basically just a long twit longer about all the issues you face in the org. Now, Emenes came into Cloud9 basically, I think, week 3 of the LCS 2023 spring split. He replaced Diplex for the rest of the year. Emenes looked like a fucking weirdo, in my own personal opinion. Yeah, he did win Cloud9 a title. He did, but he was basically really, really trash internationally. And then in summer, he was really bad in summer too, for being honest here. So, yeah, I'm actually just kind of glad he's gone.
Retired. He's gonna go to the military, and then he's gonna go become a vet. And before he, said he wanted to say some goodbyes to the Korean community. I guess it's on FM Korea. It's like their version of Reddit. And I guess he dropped a bomb. Now let's read. I'm gonna skip the short summary. No, I'll. You know what? I will actually read the summary because that's all there is. Okay. Fudge and Blabber don't practice. Wow, really?
Yeah, obviously, we're going to make sure we go over a lot of these, but Fudge and Blabber don't practice. I mean, that would contribute to the diminishing factor of Fudge's top lane gameplay. But, some players do better with less practice to a certain extent, but that can only really work for certain players. I mean, if you're not really practicing as hard, and someone else defeats you at a crucial moment like a championship winning final, I mean, that's kind of the writing on the wall right there.
Okay. I'm not going to comment unless I absolutely know for a fact, but Fudge not practicing much kind of tracks with some of the stuff that I've heard from other players about him. Blabber not practicing is a little bit more surprising to me, but once again, I wasn't on the team and he was. So how would I know? I'm just spitballing. Even accounting for the bad solo queue environment, NA doesn't practice enough. They don't analyze replays of other regions or analyze solo queue from other regions. Ooh, interesting. Analyzing solo queue from other regions. That's essentially just watching people stream VODs, right? Or if they're not streaming, I guess just downloading their shit off OPGG. That's pretty rare to want to do over analyzing pro games, but definitely everything that you can do that will help you improve. It's about the small percentages. So yeah, I actually agree with this as well. Still, I do think that people tend to just slack off and just do the bare minimum, and that's just it's a loser's mentality. However, I don't know how. I don't think it's so drastic.
So let's go over some of these. So basically, the first one is Fudge and Blabber don't practice. And hold on.
Because some people make it out to believe that NA players are just super lazy. I just think you come from Korea. Everyone plays and breathes and thinks and watches League and theory crafts and talks to their teammates about League 16 hours a day. Now you go to NA, 10 hours a day, maybe even 8 hours a day. Well, that's pretty insane, right? Like when you listen to people coming to NA, Berserker, Core JJ, Impact, and Piosik most recently, they come to NA and they're like, yeah, I really like the lifestyle here. What do you think that actually means, guys? It means that they don't practice as hard and grueling hours as you do in Korea, as what is normal in Korea. We are, yes, American League, NA League is lazy in comparison to Korea and China, and that's really ultimately what matters. But I do think people need to understand the big asterisk here, which is that I think most pro players are actually pretty hardworking. 10 hours a day. A lot of people do 12 to 14. Very, very few people are doing 16. And I think that is more normal over there. And that's why they're better. Part of the reason why they're better. Still, Fudge at least helped the team function by taking the brunt of one of the players' selfishness. Okay. So this is an Adunza manifesto in every category. He's definitely saying some good stuff. LS not human, not sure what this means.
Yeah, I'm not sure what any of that meant right there. Number 2 was even accounting for the bad solo queue environment, NA doesn't practice enough. Yeah. This has been known for a long time, actually. Western League sucks. Yeah, we where have you been? How have you not heard of this? Western League is terrible. Best NA talent, Berserker inspired Jojo Pion. Berserker's not even from here. Nigel was inspired, and Jojo Pion was discovered by Peter Dunn. And it's crazy how someone that good was just so underlooked in the scene until it came a guy from fucking who used to coach in Brazil had to be like, hey, no, there's NA talent here. You just have to find them. They're here.
And that's the thing he's talking about. Like the best NA talent half of are not going to be from here. Like,
or there's ones that people have been passing on for years. So when you finally do get them, you're not even getting the best version of those players anyway. You know?
Exactly.
What's the other one? Best work. I think Jojo Pion, Young Contracts, Academy players, and the players on Excel when I was there. Patrick used to call Excel a prison, but still say that for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why Patrick still is there on Excel, but whatever, man. I have no clue why that's even happening. Sven is a hard worker. Fought with him a lot and wouldn't want to play with him again, but I wish him success. You know, people are factoring that's the reason why Vulcan left Cloud9 too. He just didn't want to play with Sven anymore. Perks also, you know, I know he's nice and friendly with Sven, but you know, I mean, you probably look at it this way. Perks cost a lot of money back in 2021, so definitely there's going to be a massive, you know, favor for what Perks wants. I'll just say, you know, Sven got benched on Cloud9 back in 2021 summer. I'll just say that, you know, there's some tracking there. You know, maybe Sven can be a little bit hard to work with, you know, and I mean, depending on how your version of that is. I mean, Emenes thought the same way too, you know.
Yeah.
So the other thing here is NA, lazy as fuck because they know they won't get cut, but some of the other newer players in NRG work really hard. Sven has a very pro-like mindset. Okay. So that's, I mean, a pro-like mindset would have that. You know, it's going to take the game very, very seriously. I mean, this is their literal lives. You know, you have to take it seriously. You know, I think people just really underestimate that. You're playing on, it's like on borrowed time, but there's a limit to how much this could potentially go on and or last in this country in general. So, you know, you got to make the most of it when you can. And you have to make the best decisions when you can. And that includes if a motherfucker's screwing around, you don't really want to be dealing with that. And then that is turned into this argument that it's like toxic, but it's like, no, like if we want to get better, things have to change, you know? And I don't know why Emenes is here if he already thought this about Western. There's no way he just thought of this right now. Like there's no way. Western League sucking has been a thing forever, honestly. But Emenes basically just burning every single bridge is just absolutely insane. Oh my god, 200 comments, motherfucker. Holy shit. Yeah, and that's crazy too. The manifesto, these guys, when they write these things, never blame themselves. Like Emenes is never sitting there going like, no, I probably made some mistakes when I was there. No, it's always everyone else's fault. Yeah, because that's how people are gonna remember Emenes, right, guys?
But I honestly, like, even if he doesn't blame himself, Cloud9 wasn't playing to top peak even before he got there. I mean, last year they had Jensen, they were better. but then he let him go.
Yeah.
That's
But that was in
Cloud9
that summer
fault.
split, though. Remember, that was in that summer split. But that spring split, that LS LCK thing that blew up, fell apart. At Worlds, it didn't do well either.
Honestly,
and the thing is because Jack didn't want to pay Jensen what he was asking for. I mean, that's fine if he doesn't want to. He's still proven that he can grab a guy and make magic happen, you know. But it's like
yeah, because you got this comment right here: top three, top lane and NA, but it's like, okay.
The most disheartening thing about this is the Fudge call out, where he's essentially top 3 top laners in North America, and he doesn't practice enough, according to Emenes. It's crazy to me when you hear a story about academy players from LCK or LPL grinding almost the whole day, every day to get a spot in a roster, but NA doesn't care about their Challenger League or academy players or to develop them, and pros in LCS know the only way they can get replaced with is a better LCS pro at their spot or an import. Yeah, that is really disheartening to hear, that a top 3 top laner like him has won constant splits. That's when he's literally won a split ever since he's came in. At this point, he doesn't practice enough, and it also depends on what do you mean by practice enough. Like, is he only just putting in just the hours for his contract and that's it, or like he only practices basically during scrims with the team? Because that can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people, you know. And this is true. When you see him at international competition, he just sucks bad, actually, you know. Like, that's just crazy to hear that one of the best top laners in the league is not practicing enough. Emenes sacrifice. Oh my god. Oh my lord. What else is going on? Funny how he said he's the most knowledgeable about league while also grieved his build in Rome every single game, especially his build. I remember that. Emenes said he was the most knowledgeable league player in the world. Okay. Oh lord. Oh god. Yeah, Emenes was actually kicked from 11 orgs before Cloud9. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about too. Makes sense why Fudge plays carries against international competition. He watches their solo queue VODs and think they're gold players. I can easily clap Zeus or 369, even the Shy. Tells the coach, pick me a carry top laner. I'm gonna smash him, and gets rolled 5 minutes into the match. He tells his team he didn't play like shit in that solo. Yeah, he's the guy where he's like, give me the best matchup, I can win. Just constantly just never wins them. And then it's like, you know what, man? You know, it was all your guys' fault. But no, I really didn't play that bad. I just no, you played bad. It's just people. That's where the LCS players too, and not just Fudge. It's like they always gaslight people into believing that they didn't play bad. It's like, we literally watched you play like complete shit. Like, what? Like, I don't know. Good lord. I've said this before. Didn't see the hype around Emenes when he was put on the team. He had a good game and was set to be the top mid during that time. Honestly, think Diplex was doing fine, just needed more time.
Yeah.
I don't. I personally would probably just give him more time to Diplex, but then again, you know, people don't really have the luxury of time in this scene, or don't think they have the luxury of time, actually. So, yeah, that's Emenes' Donzo manifesto. He's gone. He's going to go potentially eat the Korean army, actually, you know?
Yeah.
Good lord. All right. So
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets kicked out of that as well.
Good lord. If he's showing up drunk to scrims, if it's true that he was showing up drunk to scrims, I mean, that guy's going to be in your military. Yeah. I don't know about that one. just saying.
What's the drinking age in Korea? Europe is 18, I think.
I don't know the drinking age in Korea. I don't. Maybe I'm pretty sure it's 18. It would have to be, right?
Yeah,
right.
Because America's 21. Let me think. He getting drunk.
This man basically went like, Western League is so shit, I have to get drunk in order to take this shit seriously. Yeah. Can't blame the man. Can't blame him. Western League is extremely dog shit. All right, so let's go over the final video for this episode of the Cloud9 podcast, which is Keijo's video talking about the 2024 off-season rumors from the major region. And even Ryan Reynolds of Mint Mobile said his favorite berry was Grant Gustin. He's got good taste. Good job, Ryan Reynolds. Also, he has sex with Blake Lively, so can't go wrong with that one. Am I right, guys? Let's go.
Ignar coming over is big. I think XL struggled with support a little bit.
What the heck? Did I start? Okay.
All right, XL, Odoamne, Peach, Jackies, Patrick, Ignar. Now, Ignar coming over is big. I think XL struggled with support a little bit. So, small support upgrade, and also speaks Korean, which really helps Peach out. Jackies.
Yeah, the XL roster. Yeah, they actually imported Ignar. Now, Ignar's been on multiple EU teams in the past. Schalke, Misfits. He's Schalke, Misfits are the big one. Has it been on? Yeah, BBQ. He was on BBQ. He was on FlyQuest. He's been on many teams.
Wait a second. They're the org named BBQ.
Yeah, BBQ's a really big chicken restaurant in South Korea. So they actually bought an LCK slot. This is back when they had relegations too. Ignar was on BBQ. Yeah.
That's
called BBQ Oliver's.
What BBQ lost? BBQ got roasted today. Oh my joke. What?
Yeah, there was an actual org called BBQ Oliver's.
BBQ. Okay, that's okay. Okay. I'm in silence.
I don't know how good Jackies is. I personally don't know him. I don't know how good he is. I don't know what he's been up to. I don't know what team he was on. I heard he's decent, but he's been playing in... He was in EMEA Masters play-ins and lost. Then he was in Hitpoint Masters, which is the Czech league, right? He was destroying the Czech league. Okay, XL. 1.2 KLP. Peaked 1.4. Rank 93. Okay. Rookie, I guess. I don't know how old he is. 19. Okay, rookie mid laner coming in for XL. Let's see how good he is. They have 2 Czech carries now, Patrick and Jackies. That's nice. Before I get into the rest of the video, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to Displayed, who has been sponsoring all the videos and the stream during all of Worlds. Displayed something that I've been using at home for ages. You might see this Displayed there. That's been on the stream for years. And they've got a Black Friday promotion going on right now, which
thank you,
gives you some insane
K-Droll.
discounts
Thank you.
if you want. The one that I got from Displayed, and the artwork is a. This is another player which is just coming over from kept their roster, but they've removed Trimby.
Okay, so we'll do our own version of a tier list for the LEC teams that have been getting placed together. But yes, the XL roster, that looks like hot shit. That looks like hot 8th potentially, maybe 9th, maybe 10th. We know the LEC is keeping that same format. Yeah, that's looking like you'll probably barely make it to top 8, or you'll be getting 9th or 10th. Just saying.
Trimby 07, Trimby's off the roster. They've gone for a Korean support, Jun. He was an LCK Challengers for Kwangdong Freaks. I don't know how good he is. Again, this is another player which is just coming over from LCK Challengers. It's hard to say, but I guess it's good for Noah, the fact that he's playing with a Korean support. That helps him in lane. It helps him with communication, makes him feel more comfortable. Fnatic roster overall is really good, I think. So Fnatic's still pretty strong. XL, I think, will be strong in the long run, but it's hard because they made a finals, but I'm not sure how to rate that finals. He played in LCK. KDF Jun. I swear they had a difference before. Didn't they have Andil?
Yeah, and they announced today they're keeping Radzork and Humanoid. So Fnatic will probably be around... They should end up going toe-to-toe with G2 this year, given how many teams got reshuffled, but that probably will only happen in winter. I don't think that'll happen throughout the rest of the year, but their roster looks solid enough. They'll be top 4. It's hard to rank like where they're exactly going to be, I think they'll probably make the winter finals with G2 because they only changed like one player, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how the strongest roster is going to be in the long term when it comes to spring, when it comes to summer, and then the season finals. Remember that? Yeah, guys. Yeah.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah, Andil. I finished 10th. He was in LCK for DRX. How much games did he play in LCK, this guy? I don't remember him. Oh, he played a lot of summer and a lot of spring. Maybe I'm just bronze. I don't remember him. Played a few series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 series in summer. And he played all of spring. Wow, my brain is crazy. Maybe I didn't watch much KDF games then. I mean, they were quite low elo. So I think a lot of times we went to LPL games when KDF played. Oh, he was in the LCK. I won't be able to tell you how good he is because I just don't remember. He was the best support in Challengers League in 2022. Interesting. Okay, well, that's good. If he was solid and he's played in the LCK. I think that's a good pickup. Good pickup by Fnatic. G2 roster is the same. I'm not surprised they're running it back. You know, when this team is playing so well in scrims, just having some stage issues, it shows that they have promising signs. You know, I'm not going to be a scrims Andy and say that winning scrims means you're a good team. But it's obviously good to win scrims, not lose scrims. And they had a really good system behind them, really good backing from staff. They had a lot of good systems in terms of like a lot of them played solo queue and climbed in solo queue, and they were all really tryhard. So G2 believe in it. To be honest.
Yeah, G2 is running back the same roster. Now, running back the same roster can have its benefits and non-benefits. The big benefit is you keep the same team, but the downside to that is how do you reach past the ceiling you had in the previous year, actually. That's going to be the major thing right there is how do they get stronger compared to their 2023 year?
It's hard to replace a player on that roster for someone better. I think they'll still be the best team in the league. All right, Carmine Corp. Carmine Corp brought in Cabo and Sakin and Targamas from their academy team, and they took...
That's weird. Why do people think Targamas is good? Targamas is garbage, man. How does that guy still end up on teams is just blow my mind. I mean, Upset on a team is good. I think he was one of the more better players on that Vitality roster. Sakin coming back into the LEC, I'm not super stoked about that. Cableshard hasn't been in the LEC since what, 2021? Yeah, 2021? No, 2020, I think. Yeah, he hasn't been in the league for quite some time, so that's going to be a coin flip right there. Bo has actually joined Carmine Corp. Yeah, Bo, the player that was on Vitality that basically just, struck out on that roster. He's going to be on Carmine Corp. I think Bo's going to play way better on another org, not next to Perks, actually. I will say that. But how well, that's going to be how we're going to view him come winter.
Bo and Upset from Vitality. Yamato is head coach. They've got Stake as an assistant coach. Stake was the head coach of FPX, I want to say. FPX, yeah, FPX. And Flash Wolves, yeah, and Flash Wolves. But most recently FPX. And he was with Bo. So that really helps Bo out and feeling comfortable. I presume he speaks Chinese to help him out. Now, Bo, Vitality finished last place with Upset, Perks, Bo. So, yeah, it's hard to say how good they are. Upset's always been a dominant player in the league. Bo is like this promise player, which never really shined as much as people wanted him to, because he was like a solo queue god playing Graves and shit. And then on stage, he had to play Sejuani. So, yeah, I don't know how good they'll be. I'm really hyped for Saken, to be honest. Out of everyone on this roster, I'm hyped for Saken. Cabo, I know Cabo's fucking good. He'll be good in LEC. He'll be one of the best tops, easily. He'll be fine. Bo, I'll believe it when I see it. Upset's good. Targamas is good. But Saken has never played LEC yet. Oh, yeah. And he's won 4 EU Masters titles. So, yeah, let's see how good he is. Let's see how good he is. That Carmine Corp roster is kind of hype. Mad Lions have...
If you've been injured...
Yeah, okay, thank you, ads.
Have gone for a full Spanish roster with Friscoe. They've gone Spanish coach, support, AD, jungle, and top. So I think that...
So basically, Mad Lions went the full Spanish route. Remember how we had that big drama that happened at MSI 2023 after Mad Lions got defeated by T1, where the guy was like,
yeah,
the face of a loser, the face of a winner. So Mad Lions went from having, I guess in theory, the second best roster throughout the year to going to just full like regional pride. We're gonna get a bunch of taco, burrito, quesadilla motherfuckers. Now I love Mexican women. I love me some tacos. I love me
just
some...
say Spain and Mexico are not the same.
Oh yeah, I knew that. El Yoya already rumored to be leaving Mad Lions. Like last year, he wanted to go on G2, but he's like, you know what? I'll just take my money. They're gonna give him a big paycheck just to stay. I mean, does he want to win or does he want to do well? I mean, it's hard because people be like, but does El Yoyo want to do well at Worlds? He won't do it with this roster. That's probably true, but I'd rather take a new roster than the dog shit they had this year. I'll be honest here. I'd rather play with different people than the same people I know I'm gonna be basically just shit with. Just saying. I'd rather take that gamble.
Yeah.
That's really cool for Spanish fans. I guess the only problem you have with competition with Spanish fans is you had Koi. But Koi's gone now, so it's Heretics is the only Spanish competition in terms of fan base. El Yoya is really good, but I don't know how good Supa and Alvaro are, and Mirin. These are all ERL players. We didn't watch much ERLs. Melzet, wasn't that a coach in the LEC? Again, full Spanish. Frescoe, I know Frescoe's been in ERLs for a while, and Frescoe is pretty good, but what they've basically done is they've gotten El Yoya and 4 ERL players. So, yeah, I mean, take what you want from that. You played against Seiken in LEC 2020? Did I? Did I play against Seiken? Oh, he played on Vitality, right? He played on Vitality with Skeens. Oh, I remember. Yeah, that team was trash. I remember scrimming that team. They were fucking dog shit. I'm not saying a player was bad, but that team in Season 10 was terrible. I remember playing against them. They weren't good. Oh, yeah, but they got Milicia. I played against him early split then, I guess, with Skeens. No, I didn't actually play against him with Skeens. Both times we played against him on stage, it felt like we were playing against... I don't know, it just felt easy. Let's go, man. Even, oh my god, this game, my mid and top were really behind, huh? Patrick just carried there.
Yeah, the last time fucking Seiken was in the league, he was terrible. He's always been bad. There's a reason why he's been banished to the ERLs for years. I don't know why they're... I don't know why they're choosing to just play with this guy. I don't get it.
Maybe it was in spring he played? Did I play against him in spring? Oh, yeah, it was in spring. Oh, they had Selfie as well. Yeah. Second, then we find success there. But let's see. Let's see. He's in his team now. He's comfortable. All right, Rogue is they're back. Rogue is not Koi anymore. They've basically swapped out jungle support.
God, they brought back the Rogue branding. The Koi branding, nah. Just, nope. That Koi branding was shit.
I mean, I think they had big problems in support Rogue. I wasn't a big fan of Advien. I think Advien's like a great personality and a great person, but it didn't fit that roster very at all. I think when the Trimby Advien swap happened, Fnatic won 10 times out of 10. And they've gone for Marcoon, so Malrang's out. Marcoon, I think, was a big part of the reason why SK was winning games. That guy was a psychopath.
Yeah, Marcoon was actually the best part about SK, so I'm glad he's going to be on more of a competent roster. Shigenda, they're still keeping that guy. I mean, I guess.
But he was griefing a lot of games as well. He was very hit or miss. But Marcoon, I remember when he joined XL and they made that run to make almost Worlds. Marcoon's, I think, is talented. So yeah, let's see how Rogue does. Zoelis, I heard Zoelis was a really big off-season. It's funny that he's on Rogue though, but a lot of people were telling me Zoelis is like, oh yeah, he's the off-season steal. But he went on to Rogue, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe they got the bag out, or maybe the teams just found other better supports. I don't know. SK, I'm not going to go into too deep. We'll do a big tier list later on in the year when all of this is confirmed, because these are rumored and they're not full confirmed. The announcements aren't out. It's not fully there yet, and Worlds just finished. So when it gets close to LEC, we'll go a bit more in depth on these players. We're just giving you an update. SK keeping both sides. They're swapping out Marcoon and Certus. They got Isma and Niski. I think Niski's good. You can laugh at him as much as you want.
Niski is good if you're talking about just LEC standards, but he definitely has a lot of flaws to his gameplay. They're keeping Exakick and Dots, which I think is good. So they're the main reason why SK were even relevant this year. A relevance, like, okay, but SK basically just doing the whole budget roster thing again. They're never going to be shelling out huge money for players. This is not going to happen, honestly.
For internationals, or say whatever you want about Mad Lions internationals or C9, whatever it is. Niski's a solid player domestically, really solid. Isma was on Schalke, I think. He was on Schalke or some other team. He was on MRS. Sorry, he was on Schalke, wasn't he? Yeah, he was on Schalke last year. Yeah, Isma's good. I think he was quite high low in solo queue, and a lot of people were like, this guy. I remember playing jungle on the ladder, and this guy was just always high low. Good player. I didn't watch any of his ERL games, but it looks like a lot of teams are taking risks on like rookie players.
Hi. Meet.
No, I don't need this. No, I'm good. I'd rather slit my throat.
So there's a lot of new names. I'm not going to say rookie. I'm going to say new faces. 1, 2. I'll say three for second. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 already. So BDS. I don't know what happened to BDS. Adam, Shio, Nuke, Labrov. Everyone's there. Crowny's gone. And they brought in Ice. I don't know. This is the most random signing I've ever seen in my life. They brought in a Korean AD carry who played on Zero Tenacity, which I think is isn't Zero Tenacity Polish League? Weren't they in the Polish League, the Ultra Liga? So this guy played in the Ultra Liga. They picked him up. I'm guessing he's on here. He decayed like fuck, so he probably went back to Korea. But I'm just confused why they just slotted in Ice. Like, what did Crowny do to deserve the kick for a Korean AD?
Because they originally wanted Karzi. So if you're thinking like, okay, we're gonna get Karzi, who had a pretty good year on Mad Lions over Crowny, that in theory would make a bit of sense, but they didn't end up getting Carzy because he's going to go to Team Vitality, and they got rid of Crownie. Like I just don't think you get rid of him. Honestly, yeah, he had a bad Worlds, no discussion there. He had a bad World Championship, but the only reason why they were even contending to make Worlds at all, the only reason why they were even in that finals at all earlier this year was because of Crownie. So getting rid of him for this new guy, I don't know.
Like, I feel like the Korean AD just hurts the vibe. I feel like Crownie was... Maybe they're gambling on just a really talented AD carry that will take them to Worlds again. Crownie wasn't like the best player in the world or the best player on the team. He was like all right at Worlds. Yeah, interesting. Maybe something didn't work out of the game. I don't know. I'm not gonna. And maybe they thought just getting the best, most talented AD mechanically they could get is worth it. Team Heretics, they got Wunder, Jankos, Perks, G2 2019 topside. G2 2019 topside. Then they got Kaiser.
Yeah, they have the G2 2019 and 2018 and 2020 topside. Actually, I don't know how that's going to be coming into 2024 because if you're looking at it, all things considered, it's one of those gambles that can pay off, but Perks has not been good for quite some time, so I just don't know how that's going to really pay off, honestly.
From Vitality and Flackit, of course, who was there last year. It's basically G3. This is G3. This is G2 roster with a different bot lane. 2018, 2019, 2020, doesn't matter. They had the same top side. I guess Caps role swap to mid, doesn't matter. I mean, Perks played mid, Caps played AD carry. How good is this roster going to be? I don't know. Jankos was insane. Jankos was really good. Wunder for Fnatic when he subbed in looked like he was as comfortable as ever, and he was gapping BB in most of those lanes in the finals, even though he only played League for a few weeks. Perks, I think Perks got a lot of flack that I think was a bit too harsh. Perks obviously was underperforming, but
not true at all. Perks was underperforming hard, bad. I think he got the right amount of blame, actually.
I think a lot of people have taken... The thing is, when you succeed so hard, eventually people will want to see you fail. And so that's why I think Perks is like... The flame that he got and the flag that he got was a bit too harsh, to be honest. I think he's still LEC worthy. Easy.
No, I don't know, man. Perks is playing pretty bad this year. Like, he just played very awful. I think Team Heretics taking the risk on him is...
But Team Vitality was bad in general. Like, the whole team was bad. Like, it's like, you only be so good if your team's trash. But Team Heretics looks like the team that's trying to build the... They kind of look like the 2018 Oklahoma City Thunder. You got Paul George, who's almost out of his prime. Russell Westbrook that's out of his prime. Carmelo Anthony that's out of his prime. One of those Jankos or Perks are kind of like past their prime in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Also, Flackit and Jankos literally just played together last year. Last 2022, they played together. So the only player that's really moving over from Perks is just Kaiser. I mean, Perks taking Kaiser from Team Vitality is weird because Kaiser had a pretty shit year just all together on Vitality. But I guess Perks is like, no, there was much more to this guy. Honestly, it's interesting because Upsets always kind of wanted to play with Perks, and he finally got a chance to do it, and it failed completely. Yeah.
Obviously, 10th, right? It's like
I don't know what happened.
How hard they boomed after MSI was crazy. After MSI, they boomed so fucking hard. Like, this was pre-MSI. Vitality looked decent. They looked like they could contest. Maybe they would make Worlds still. They have a long break, more time to train up, more time to teach Bo and Photon English. Summer, absolute fucking shitfest. And then Vitality, obviously, because Perks is gone, they've got VTO, who was on XL, and then he went to... Where did VTO go after that?
Heretics? Yeah.
Carzy, Hylissang. So Carzy's gone back to Vitality. Mac, I think the coaching staff obviously went from Mad Lions to Vitality. They got Hylissang from Mad. They got Carzy from Mad. So it's Mad's bot lane, Mad coaching staff with Heretics mid, Douglas.
Yeah, Vitality have the Mad coaching staff, which can be a good or bad thing. I think this probably is the best coaching staff they've ever had, honestly. They've always had pretty jank coaching staffs. Carzy is a huge upgrade in that position over Upset. I think Carzy had a stronger year than Upset. Did Hylissang have a stronger year than Kaiser? I think they that's just a coin flip. You could just go with that however you want. I don't think Vetio played that much better than Perks, but I mean, you're gonna have to get a suitable replacement. I think he's suitable to replace Perks in that position. I don't know anything about Douglas, but Photon was easily the best LEC top laner, so keeping him is completely fine, honestly.
Some Photon stayed. I mean, they must believe in Douglas. Again, another player I don't know much about. He played in the LEC for a little bit, and they obviously trust him as the jungler. I don't know if this is a decision where it's like, hey, we're broke as fuck because we spent so much money on a super team roster, and Douglas is already signed, and he played on stage a little bit, was all right, let's just put him in. Or it's, yeah, fuck yeah, Douglas is good, we're going to keep Douglas. Overall, the rosters, it's hard to say whether they're...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold, was he that guy that they randomly replaced Bo with at the last minute? If he's that guy, then I guess?
I believe so. I
forget,
so.
Dude, Vitality was so bad, they chose to replace Bo the literal last because they're like, dude, you're so bad right now. Get me anybody else, please. Oh, God. It must have been a shit show on that Vitality roster, man. Holy crap.
Yeah. Stronger or not, because it depends on this Mad Lions roster. If this Mad Lions roster is good, then it could be an overall upgrade for the league. I mean, if you think about it, Astralis is gone, and Astralis looked like they had some high highs, so it's hard to say.
Astralis being gone is good. They had never any highs. Astralis has been terrible ever since they came into the league. Bad the whole time. Dog shit. I'm glad they're gone.
Like, you can't use the argument that, well, Astralis is gone, we're stronger overall. Not true. Astralis had like good splits. There's some names missing from...
Never. Astralis never had a good split. What split? I love how he always says these things. What specific split, how they were played was good? None. They had motherfuckers like Promise Q on their roster at one point. Really? No, man.
Here, like Finn and Leader aren't here. Kobe, I think Kobe retired. Malrang's gone. So G2, still probably the strongest team. Mad Lions roster, huge question mark. Rogue could surprise. I think BDS won't have the highest of highs like they did last year. Heretics has huge potential, but it's just a case of like, do they have can the players find that potential? I think Fnatic's solid. XL's pretty solid. Vitality, I think Vitality will be pretty solid too. But yeah, I think G2 might run this league again.
It's hard to really rank these teams right now, and we'll definitely do that later on another episode, but you can already probably pretty much put G2 and Fnatic at the top, most likely, if we're doing this. Who knows? Fnatic might crash and burn with having a Korean support that can't communicate with your mid and jungler, because that's always been a very good move, right, guys?
I guess if I was to look at this and say which teams are at the bottom, which teams are at the top, Mad Lions could be at the top, they could be the bottom. Again, no fucking clue. You're putting 4 ERL players on stage. If for LEC, it's a complete flip. Odds say, and on paper say, it's probably a bottom 5 team. But yeah, I've seen crazier things. SK, I would say, small upgrade. BDS, I would say, small upgrade if ICE is solid for future endeavors. Heretics, I would say, upgrade. Vitality, I would say, side grade. RZ Hillesang's a strong bot. I think the thing is, the Vitality roster last year or this year was still really strong, but they just underperformed like fuck. So I would say actually upgrade. Fuck it. You can't get worse than 10th, can you?
I mean, it's really hard to say it's really hard to call them super strong when we saw them play the game. I mean, yeah, they had moments where they looked kind of strong and could have done more, but they just kind of kept faltering each split. Each split just, kept leading into diminishing returns. I do agree that BDS probably won't be as good as they were this year. There's always that one team that were good the previous year that falls, and there's another team that steps up in their place. Mad Lions having that full regional roster, oh man, if that falls apart, holy crap, that's going to be so bad.
On paper. So upgrade, Rogue, upgrade, I think 100%. Marcoon, Malrang, I think overall this team will perform better. Mad Lions, hard to say. Carmine Corp from Astralis, I would say on paper, upgrade. I think Fnatic upgraded and so did XL. So I think the league's stronger. I think there's some important things happening that are like hard to see, where in terms of coaching staff, I think I heard Hidden on Cass is a really good coaching staff. Peter Dunn, great coaching staff. So he must really trust this G2 top side. Vitality getting Mad Lions coaching staff is a huge upgrade. That's so good for them. I think Mac and Pad on your team and Carter, that's a good coaching staff. And Yamato being back, I think Yamato's a really good coach. So overall, I think the league is a bit stronger. There's a couple teams that could upset. That'll be fun to watch. Stake makes Bo's life a bit easier. This Carmine Corp and this Vitality roster, I think, are the teams with the most potential, in my opinion. These two teams have the most potential. And then like they could either crash and burn or they could like be really competitive. And then the teams which I think are just
I'm excited to have Rogue back in the league. If Rogue can challenge G2 and Fnatic possibly, that makes the league a lot more fun and interesting. I'm just never getting hyped for Vitality rosters. I've drank enough of that Kool-Aid for years. I'm gonna let them prove they're gonna be a good roster. That's what I'll be doing. I know everyone else is gonna be like, "Oh, their roster looks pretty solid." I think at this point now they need to prove they're gonna be a good roster because it looks really. I've never seen them really fulfill their potential for with the past good rosters they've actually had before. So
fucking solid are Exile, Fnatic, Rogue, and kind of Heretics pretty solid.
All right, so we're gonna head out of here because I have to go to my next podcast actually. But yeah, man, anything else you want to say before we head out? Actually, about
not too much. Yeah, now these changes are kind of not like bad, but they're like, okay, let's wait to see what the season does with them because there's gonna be some changes. I think after this spring split, in my opinion. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. It like this off season is kind of like, oh, cool, boom.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna go over other things actually, and we'll go over the other part of that. So I know we covered part 1 of this right now. We're gonna do the LCS on the next show actually, but there's been so much news that has gone on that we've basically been adding in just a whole ton of episodes for you guys. So if you guys are watching this show on any podcasting platform, thank you so very much for choosing to watch and listen to us on your commute from work, at the gym, when you're at home, or if you just need some background noise. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Cloud9 podcast, and we'll see you guys later.